Hello folks, it's Gordon here. Hope all is well with you. This video I've called The Two Biggest Problems with Women's Football, Part 1. And let's get it out of the way right from the beginning. This isn't actually a problem just with women's football. It's a problem with men's football. It's a problem with football, full stop. But I've noticed it in watching the Women's World Cup, which finished recently. And it's one of the reasons I've stopped watching football. I watch women's football, I watch the Women's World Cup, I watch the Men's World Cup, maybe the Euros, the FA Cup final, but apart from that, gone off football. There's plenty of other sports that I enjoy watching more because, to a huge extent, this first reason. And there's an easy fix to it. Now, the first reason is cheating, but it's a particular form of cheating. Cheating goes on the whole match in football, trying to con the referee that A, you haven't been fouled, or you've been fouled, or you haven't fouled the other person. Every team does it for the whole game, and then they moan when the referee is conned by the other team. So it's okay for them to con the ref, but they moan when the other team has conned the ref. Every team does it and moans about it, and it's relentless. There's not many other sports when you see it as constant and relentless as it happens in football. But the particular form of cheating I'm talking about is time wasting. Here's what happens. The team that is winning, particularly if they're only winning by one goal, with 20 minutes still to play, maybe 25 minutes still to play, here's what will happen. Anytime there's a corner or a cross goes into their own penalty area, the goalkeeper might come and catch it or might be challenged. The goalkeeper will go down injured and will need medical treatment every time. When the team that's winning, when one of their outfield players get challenged, they will go down, scream in agony, roll about on the floor, and will need medical treatment every time. And the reason they do this is because the time it takes for the referee to call the medical staff on, for the medical staff to get on the pitch, to treat them, and then get off the pitch, that time is always more than the time that is added on as extra time at the end. So it works. And every team does it. If you support a particular team, your team does it. Every team does it, whether it's a club or an international team. With 20 to 25 at least minutes still left to play, you'll see this in every match. It's horrible as a neutral fan to watch because you know it's going to happen. Now the team that's behind, their goalkeepers don't stay down after every cross that comes into the box. The team that's winning, every time they get a corner, they'll decide which player is going to take it, and then that player will stroll over there one step at a time. When there's a throw-in, the team will take a couple of minutes to decide which player is going to take it, and then that player will stroll over one step at a time. The team that's behind will be racing, sprinting to the corner to take the corner, will be sprinting to take the throw-ons. Substitutions happen. The player being subbed off will stroll off one pace at a time, thanking other players on the way. The team that is behind, their substitutes, will run off the pitch. Every team does it. FIFA has tried to clamp down on it by saying that a player substituted has to go off at the nearest point of the pitch, so they can't stroll off one step at a time, all the way from the far side of the pitch to the dugout, which is what they used to do. They know they were being subbed, so they would coincidentally find themselves right over the far side of the pitch, so they could spend a couple of minutes walking off one step at a time. FIFA said if you're over the far side of the pitch, you've got to go off that side of the pitch and then walk around the pitch. And in recent times, they've said every bit of extra time when the ball is not in play will be added on at the end. So that's why you might get 10 minutes extra time or 15 minutes extra time. And the football community, the managers, moan about it. Pep Guardiola, the manager of Man City, who won the treble last season, doesn't like it. He said, well, what, will we be playing half an hour extra time, half an hour added time, not extra time, added time, every game? It's ridiculous. The thing is, Pep, your team does it, and you know your team does it in the same way that every other team does it. So here's the fix. Oh my God, this fix is so simple, so effective, and could have been done years ago. And the fix is found in something that's done in rugby union. Rugby league do it as well, but particularly rugby union. Here's what happens. It's not rocket science, by the way. The referee is mic'd up. And every time there's an injury, the referee says, time off. And there's a gesture. I think it's like that. Time off. And the TMO, it's called in rugby, the television match official, or the VAR in football, or the assistant ref, whatever it is, stops the clock. And then the injury is dealt with. And when play's ready to start again, the referee says, time back on, and blows the whistle. Now everyone can hear this. All the players can hear it. All the commentators can hear it. Everyone watching on television can hear it. Same thing happens if, so what, there's an injury. When's the other time it happens? If there's a video check, if there's a TMO check, a video check in rugby, the time off, the referee calls time off. In football, when there's a VAR check, the clock is still running. So it might take 5 minutes for a VAR check and the clock is still running. Stop the clock. If you do this in football, every time there's an injury, all the 20-25 minutes of the team that's winning trying to waste time by having all these injuries will cease. Because they know, every team will know, every team that does it, every team will know it no longer works because the referee just stops the clock. It's not difficult. It can be done, and this isn't theory because rugby has been doing it for years. And it's never a problem in rugby. Players don't complain about it, managers don't complain about it, pundits don't complain about it, fans don't complain about it, because it's accepted. When play is stopped for an injury or substitution, the referee calls time off and then time back on again. Now, when it comes to time wasting, actual time wasting by a team who's winning, you see less of it in rugby in the first place. And the main time when teams try to do it in rugby, if at all, is when they get a line out. They will walk very slowly to the line out and discuss what they're going to do at the line out. Now, when that happens, the referee will, on mic, remember, the referee's mic'd up, the referee will say to the captain, speed it up. We're not going to have you taking this long every time out. And if the captain and the team doesn't speed up, the referee starts saying, right, time off. They stop the clock. Then they call the captain over and they say, this is going to stop. They have the conversation. The referee calls time back on and away they go. It's just such a simple fix to a massive, horrendous problem in football, and it can be done. They could even, well, the new season's just started in football, so it's too late for this season, but they could introduce it like that because it's been in place in rugby for years. So yeah, that's the biggest problem in football, part one. Let me know what you think. Let me know if it's a problem for you, and let me know what the fix is, what you think of the fix. Seems pretty easy to me. And I'll see you next time with part two of the biggest problem in football. Signing off for now, wishing you as ever health and happiness, and I'll speak to you again soon.